Hello everyone, this is Linkimus Prime, and today we are taking a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse, The Batman. And first, let us talk about the absolutely amazing detail on this figure. I absolutely love the new design for the Batman in the new movie, and this does capture that look very, very well in my opinion. Starting at the head, the face is nicely sculpted, and it does use that photoreal technology, so that did come out pretty decently. He does have a weird case of side eye, which I've noticed McFarlane has been doing just a little bit with some of their DC figures, and it does kind of limit some of the I don't know, some of the poses that you can get, because it just looks weird when he's facing a different direction than what you want him to be in. But I don't know, that's just me. But the helmet does look very, very nicely sculpted. Just the way that it has all of the threading looks pretty nice in my opinion. But moving down, you know, he does have the collar that meets kind of where the cape is right here, and the way this drapes down does look very, very nice, and the cape itself does look really nice. And then you also have like the kind of bat wing type shaped part at the bottom of the cape, and all of the really nice sculpted detail for the wrinkles, which does look very nice. And then you do get a lot of really nice detail on the chest and on the abdomen area. I kind of like these panel line details, which look really, really good. You do get the Batarang kind of section right here. Now, I bought this figure, I thought that it was broken because this part looked like it was missing. Just the way it's sculpted just kind of looks like it's broken, but it's actually not, which I found a little bit weird, and I realized that that was technically accurate. So yeah, I don't really get that part, but the Batarang section does look pretty nice in my opinion. The shoulder pads are also really nicely sculpted as well on both sides, and then we also do have the cuffs, which have these little silver, I can't remember what these were in the movie, so if someone remembers, please comment below. But these are nicely painted right here, and you do have the kind of fin, or the cuff fins on the back of the forearms, which do look really nice. And then we do have his classic utility belt, which does look pretty good in my opinion. It still has some of the sculpting in the back, which is really nice in my opinion. But utility belt is nicely sculpted. Coming down, we do have more detail on the legs. Now, one thing I would like to mention, this part is slightly inaccurate because I believe he has a pouch on this leg that this figure is missing, so I do believe that is a little bit inaccurate, but not the biggest gripe in my opinion. The knee pads are also sculpted here as well. A lot more wrinkle detail in the pants, and then he does have these regular kind of boots as well. So detail is pretty nice on this figure. Now, he does not come with very many accessories. The only thing that this figure comes with is the included DC base that comes with pretty much all of the DC McFarlane figures, and this included grappling gun, which if I can get this off, there we go, is pretty nicely sculpted as well. It does have this kind of metallic black plastic that it's molded in, which does look pretty cool in my opinion. And then he does come with this peg. Now, the way that he holds it is a little bit weird in my opinion, because the way his hand is sculpted, I don't get this. I don't remember him holding it like that in the movie. Like, it would make sense if he was holding it by this part, but instead you just pop it into the hand like this, and I just don't really like how that looks. That just looks weird to me. But if that was accurate, then, you know, I guess cool, but I don't know. I'm not the biggest on that, but that's really the only accessory that you get, which, not the biggest deal. Kind of wish you came with maybe a little bit more, but the thing that does suck is you don't come with any other hands, and I kind of wish you came with some interchangeable hands. And there's really no storage for the grappling gun as well, which does kind of suck, but it's not the biggest deal in my opinion. And now let us talk about Battinson's articulation. So at the head, we do have a basic ball joint at the top, which allows him to look up that far and down that far, and also side to side, and also kind of side to side like that. And yeah, so that's pretty much the articulation for the head. We do have 2 ball joints in the abdomen area, so he can crunch forward about that much, back about that much, not too much honestly. He can go side to side and rotate as well, and he can rotate at the base right in here. On the arms, we do have some swivels in the shoulders, but they are kind of hindered by the cape and the shoulder pad. And another thing, my shoulder pad on this figure is kind of warped. It came warped in the packaging, so I'm not the biggest fan of that. But it can rotate and go out about that much. Well, a little bit more if that wasn't hindered by the shoulder pad, and in about that much. And then it can also rotate at the bicep, so it does have a bicep swivel. Then at the elbow, a little more than, well, way more than 90 degrees. It's double jointed elbow, and then down about that much. Swivel at the wrist, and it can go up and down, and if you swivel it, it can go up and down like that. And pretty much the same thing on the other arm. For the legs, we do have a kick, like, so he can kick forward about this much and back about that much, mainly due to the waist, or the pelvis area being like a soft plastic. We do have kind of a thigh swivel, but it is a little bit hindered, but it is there. He can split about that much at the base and in about that much. He does have double jointed knees, which can go about that far, which is pretty nice, and out about that much. And then he does have a swivel in the foot, as well as a pivot and a toe bend. So that is pretty much about it for the articulation. Now, sadly, because of the lack of accessories and the hindrances in the posability, as well as some of the sculpt choices, you can't really do much with this figure. I mean, yes, he has posability, but what's the point of putting him in a good pose if you can barely pull it off? I guess you could say there's something in the way of his articulation. Now, don't get me wrong, the sculpt is so incredible on this figure, but just the way that you can't really do much with this figure, and just some of the paint and sculpt choices that they went with. I mean, when you have him in this pose, it doesn't make as much sense because he has that weird side eye, so you can't, I don't know. And then just because of how weirdly the hand is sculpted, like, that just bothers me for some reason. And then just because, like, you know, with all of this, with the shoulder pads just being the way they are, you can't really move them that much. And then you also have the cape right here, which just hinders that even more. You can't even do anything with this figure. You can't even, because you don't even have extra hands as well, you can't just, like, you don't have any options. And that's the thing that pisses me off is, you know, you have Marvel Legends figures, for example, like Moon Knight, who has alternative hands. You can interchange them. You can give him different accessories. He comes with a boatload of accessories. But then you have the Batman figure right here, which is the same price, but comes with less stuff. And I get that you could probably do a little bit more, like, you know, if you have other figures, if they have the same, like, I don't know, similar kinds of hands, if you want to interchange them, I guess you could do that, but that would require you to buy different figures. So, you know, I like this figure. I'm just not the biggest fan of the fact that everything is hindered and you're limited to what you have. So that does actually really bother me. But anyways, for my final comments on this figure, do I recommend him? Honestly, I'm a bit split on that aspect. On one hand, you have a figure with a very nice sculpt, lots of nice paint and detail, and a pretty good price. But on the other hand, you have a figure that is very hindered in the terms of movement, and just when it comes to accessories, just has barely anything. On one hand, I'd say yes, definitely pick him up. But if you are a person who likes variety and who likes their figures to have a pretty decent amount and layout of accessories, then no, I do not recommend this figure, sadly. But I do enjoy his shelf presence, so he does look nice on display. Just everything else when it comes to just having different options. When it comes to having different options, I don't know. But anyways, guys, that is about it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.